Okay, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be another etching thing, I think, but this one should be pretty quick because I'm just doing some experiments. So, some quick lessons learned for the etching process. So, on the ones that I did to begin with, you'll see now, these have only been sitting out for like a day or two, and they are super rusty. So, part of that process after you etch things is to protect the metal, because this is that Circle R, the really good one, and it is already super rusty. Easy to fix, but just a little note. Second thing, so I went back and after the last video, I did some other etching using aluminum instead of the steel, and then I tried a couple of different methods. So this was one of them. That is, are you gonna cooperate with me? Can you focus? There we go. That's a gator head. So that's one of them. Then there was this one, which is, come on, a different Vegvasier than what I did last time, and I polished these up a little bit. So there's that one. And then the last one was this little, which way is it? That guy? No, that guy. This little guy. Little Reaper logo for myself. So, those are the ones I just made last time with aluminum. Now what I've noticed is, so these two, this is the Gator one and the little Reaper one, these two I did more of like an embossed, or an embossed, however you pronounce it, image, and they show up, but it's a little, it's basically you're trying to eat away a lot more stuff on these two than you are with, say, this one. And this one, I think, like I said, you can kind of see it better. Just eating up a little bit, focus, instead of trying to eat everything else. So it's just the image that's eaten away, not everything else around the image. So I think that's what I'm going to do for some of these other ones, is basically do the same thing and continue the etching process. So now that I've figured that out, I think my next step is to just improve the actual etches themselves. So what I got here are some little things. I got a little challenge coin looking doohickey that I'm going to be making, and then I'm basically doing this same image but a little bit better, using white vinyls this time instead of black. Not for any particular reason. I don't think anyone's better than the other, but just doing it because that's what I have and that's what was available. So what I think I'm going to do with this, I've got this little tub right here. I'm going to fill this with the acid solution that I showed you last video. I'm going to put these two little things, this coin and this little guy, into the acid, and then I'm going to put that whole thing into this little guy. So this is one of those sonic cleaner things, and what I've read is that if you agitate the acid, it tends to work more, which makes sense. You're basically just shaking off the item that you're etching, so that new acid keeps getting onto it and not the acid that's already eaten away. So it makes perfect sense. I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm not going to record a lot of that though. Like I said, this one's going to be pretty quick. I'm just going to load everything up in here, mix everything up, load everything up, and then leave it, and then I'll be back once I've actually seen what that does. So it'll probably be about half an hour, 45 minutes. So be right back. So I wasn't going to record this, but as you can kind of see, I've just got this going. And there's a ton of bubbles doing their thing, which tells me that this is probably the right, or a pretty good way to do this. So, we'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna try and knock this out before the bugs get too bad. So, finish the whole process. You can see I kind of got all my cleaning and polishing and more polishing and stuff, implements all out to do stuff with. So, final result. So this is the old image. If it will focus. Yeah, there you go. So that's the old one. And then this is the new one. So I think it worked pretty good. This down here where it looks a little less nice, that's because I got tape overlapping. It wasn't on purpose, but it is what it is. It's not too bad. I do think I want to try and get this whole image, the reverse of it, because both of these are the same image etched in. It's just this one, I protected the rest of the surface from it. I'm a little curious what happens if I try and emboss this image. But I realized a little late that I had printed the wrong image to do that with. This was still the stencil image. So that's the first one. It's getting better. This is using that sonic cleaner, and it does seem to get a deeper etch quicker, because this was only like, I don't know, maybe not even 30 minutes to get this, and this was like an hour or so. So it is quicker. The other one, which I didn't have handy until a second ago, I had to grab it, was this guy. So you can kind of see there's the one side, there's the Reaper side, and then the other side, this is my wife's little logo, little sacred cow. But yeah, so that worked great. So it polished up pretty nice, it's nice and shiny, it's very reflective on both sides, and it looks pretty good. That actually was not too bad. And again, like I said, it was pretty quick as well. So now we can use this to decide who's paying for dinner. That's what I've decided anyway. So yeah, that's what it looks like so far. I think these work pretty good. I think that's more or less the final experiment that I'm going to do with these. Now it's just a matter of making it cleaner, just making sure everything fits the way that it should and looks the way that it should, so I can get nice, clean, crisp images. One more thing that I might try, probably off camera though, is I'm tempted to put the stencil on there, but then use like nail polish instead. So the problem I keep having is when I use these, or when I use the stickers and put them into the fluid, sometimes they will unstick themselves. So I lose a little bit of the detail. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this on camera, but like this, focus, you can see right here, this little line. So that is a really fine detail, and that's great. I was shocked that it actually was noticeable, because on this side, you can kind of see right there, and a little bit in some other spots, where it basically was trying to get underneath, there's a better angle, it was trying to get underneath the sticker. So it kind of got underneath there, kind of got underneath a little bit there, and so on. So I think if I try and use nail polish instead, or like paint or something, basically something that sticks to the surface really firmly, but that's easy to buff off after the fact, because honestly, getting everything off of these do not look this clean when they come out. They look a little like there's a lot of bleed over, but when you hit them with the little Scotch-Brite pad, it cleans most of that off, so you're left with the actual clean image and the good etch. So that's what that looks like, and that's, I think, the next test. So that's it. Kind of a quicker video this time, but just wanted to knock this out because next comes the big project of trying to do this to the engine, and I wanted to make sure I knew more or less what I was doing before I did that. So once I get those tests knocked out, that will be probably a video for I think next week, maybe. But yeah, that's about it. Like always, thanks for joining. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.